now, and how easy it is to look at people, well, you know, with a lot of political prejudice, for sure, and that's difficult to see past. But we've been in those kind of situations before, and I was thinking about some of those historically where Christians have led the way in doing loving exploits that have changed people. I think especially Tim's encouragement that God can change people's minds, and He does it through the loving kindness that He shows through us. So, all right, we all set? All right, well, very good. So thank you, Tim, again for that opening message, and hopefully everybody was encouraged by that and see who you can bring application to it. Starting your own homes. I think probably we all have people in our own homes who we need to consider doing some loving exploits too. So, all right. So this is our time for administrative update, which we're going to go through as quickly as we can, and primarily just going to highlight a few things. If you can open up your program booklets to the events and reminders pages, just going to go through a couple of the upcoming events that we have, and then go through our little reminders. So first of all, we do have our workshops that are still up and coming. We've got workshops on January 27th, February 24th, and March 24th, and then the Eastern Shore workshops will be taking place. I'm not exactly sure how February's will be. Gary's usually the one who conducts that, so we'll be figuring that out. But nonetheless, those are the dates for them. Just a reminder that the first semester ended yesterday, so we're going to be needing your first semester reports due by the 31st of this month, and also that your second semester course registrations, if you are junior high school age students, are also were due earlier this month. And a lot of people have been asking if the information is the same for the first semester as it was the second semester, do we still have to send in a course registration? The answer is yes, please do. The primary reason we started doing this is to allow for modifications that need to be made from the first to second semester. And bottom line is it should be pretty easy then. If you have nothing's changed, just go ahead and submit it, and that just keeps everything up to date. And so hopefully there's not too much confusion on that. The other question with the with having a first and second semester course registration, some people have asked, well, how do I divide up the credit amounts? Like in the first semester course registration, if I have a course that's worth a whole credit, do I just put one credit down, or if I know it's going to be between the two semesters, do I just put a half credit down? And the answer is yes. Bottom line is either way is good, as long as it's very clear to us what you're meaning by that. So you know, so just make sure that we understand that you're not asking for 2 credits for one course, or that you only ask for a credit for a half credit course. So probably the easiest way to make it that clear is if you have a credit course and you plan to basically divide it pretty evenly between both semesters, put in a half credit, and you'll do half a credit in the first semester, half a credit in the second. Sometimes people will take courses and try to do them in their entirety in one semester, and that's probably why it's a good idea to, whatever credit you're planning on getting in the whole semester, put it down for that semester. So for instance, if you're going to take a whole credit course in the second semester, put down a whole credit. Does that make sense, or is any confusion in that? All right. Anyway, so if you haven't turned that in yet, please do so. Draw attention, I haven't talked about this a lot. We've sent a couple emails about it, but number 4 says the Frederick Stars and Stripes spring season registration. So this past fall, we had an opportunity to connect with actually one of Gary's old students and a classmate of Tim Schell's back from Frederick Christian Academy. His name is Chuck Farmer. And Chuck has been involved in youth with, I'm blanking out here, 4-H for many years, and with their target and shooting clubs. And then he had the opportunity a couple years ago to basically begin a clay target team. And really the first high school clay target team in Maryland. And so he approached us last year about the possibility of Wellspring becoming a sponsoring school for the team, because he at that point did not actually have a home base, as it were, for the team. And the cool thing about the league is that it's open basically to anybody, ages basically grades 6 through 12. You don't have to be attending at the school to be part of the team. If you don't have a team at your own school, then you can join another local school's team, and that includes homeschool students. So homeschool students who don't have a team can do that. So there's some information about that. This is information we sent out last year for the fall season. It says introducing the Frederick Stars and Stripes. And then there's an updated email message from Chuck that I got yesterday about what the spring season is going to be like. And we have at least one student who's participated so far, and it's been a really good experience for him. But anyway, it's it's an opportunity. We've not generally had a lot of opportunity for sports, at least not in more recent years. Now, years ago, we used to have a number of sports clinics, and the county, we call it the county sports events, and we would have other people come and participate, and we just haven't had a lot of ability to do that. So the nice thing about Stars and Stripes is that it's all pretty much set up. It's very low-key in terms of how things work. The main place where things happen is at the Thurmont Gun Club, and he was telling me in this email, and you can see it for yourselves, that they're trying to do things to reduce the cost. The main cost of participating on a clay target team like this is especially ammo, and he said they're trying to work out reducing that. But you basically are competing in the sense that you have a certain number of and I can't even remember what the right terminology is because I've never done this before, but a certain amount of rounds that you're shooting, and you keep track of your accuracy, your points, and so on, and that's all part of the league and the teams collectively doing that. And then there's also some individual events as well. So anyway, so you can look more into that, but the registration for the spring season is opening on the 3rd, and if you have any questions about potentially getting involved with that, you can contact Coach Farmer directly, and his contact information is there. And he did mention that they're going to be hoping to have an open house tubing party, as it were, for prospective team members, hopefully next month at Ski Liberty, and he's still working on the details for that. So anyway, so that's cool. We've got and it works out fairly well for us. It's not a high administrative burden, especially since Coach Farmer is the one who's pretty much taking care of that, but it's neat to be involved with that. So that is that. Please note that the testing, spring testing form is in your booklet. We're also going to have that in the mailing coming out next week too. So, but if you want to tear that out and send it in, you can do that. So for the Iowa assessments, as well as any individual assessments that you want to have done in the spring. And then if you have a senior or a junior who's interested in the SAT, we're going to have our in-school testing day on April 13th here at the office. That's only here at the office. That's not going to be available anywhere else. It's not going to be available on the Eastern Shore. So if you want to come and take the SAT, you have to come to the office and register by March 4th for that. Real quickly, you can turn your program book to the page that looks like this. This is our 3 events, basically our what's the right word? Well, second time, well, it's the 3rd time we're actually trying to do this. We did this a couple years ago, and then weren't able to do it last year because of the COVID stuff. But trusting that we'll be able to do it again this year, which is our 3 events here on campus, because Expo is no longer happening at the Frederick Fairgrounds. Machi's not doing that anymore, so we've basically moved it here for now and combined it with field day and picnic. So it'll be very similar to what we had at conference in the fall. And then if you were here 2 years ago, we did that. So lots of information there. Also, if you didn't get an new updated Expo booklet, please grab one of those and you can plan on that. But that is going to be on May 1st, Lord willing, and we're looking forward to that. We're going to be talking a lot about graduation with the senior class, but that is coming up on the 5th of June. And then everything else there's pretty self-explanatory. And then as far as just some reminders, really appreciated Tim mentioning some of these stories from South Korea. We've, as you all know, for almost 10 years now, we have been involved with homeschooling families in Asia, in South Korea and in the Philippines, and now especially our Philippine affiliate Homeschool Global has been branching out really all over the place. They have a very strong presence in the Middle East and expanding even out of Asia and the Middle East into places like Great Britain. So we really are, we've said this for a while, that obviously we have a worldwide reach, but I've just been really reminded that really we're an international organization. And what does that mean? That's not said in any kind of bragging sense of the word. It's in a reality that as you think about the school and think about our ministry, please remember that our staff across the sea, across the seas, are just as much a part of what we're doing now as anyone. And we spent a lot of time helping and assisting. They're not just simply clients or customers, they really are joint laborers, and they need our prayers. And trying to do a little bit more to bring the reality of who they are to our families here. Obviously it's difficult because you don't get to see them physically, but they have, we've just been blessed to work with them. Again, we have two affiliates in South Korea, and then we have one in the Philippines, but they're, like I said, branched out of other places. But we have over 1,600, I should say, over 1,600 students through those programs that are underneath us. So they're using the Wellspring program over there. So in that respect, it's very exciting to see how we're getting to help students in all sorts of different places. And we had a board meeting last Saturday, and we had a little pop quiz, and it was fun to. The question was, which of one of these colleges have we not recently sent a transcript to? And funny enough, it was Frederick Community College. We hadn't sent one to recently. We have sent them there, obviously, but not recently. We've been sending them to places like the University of Prince Edward Island in Canada. It's just really interesting, the time frame that we're in, people doing different stuff with education. So anyway, remember that. Also, we mentioned this back in the fall, but we are doing, we've had our applied citizenship class that we've been doing for the last semester, and we're wrapping that up. We just have a couple classes to finish that out, and then we're going to be switching to our origins class, or our creation science class. That's going to begin in February, and that will satisfy the origins course requirement that we instituted at the beginning of the year. And again, our class is one way you can satisfy that. If you're doing it in a different way, that's also fine. But we encourage people to consider taking that. You can take that via live stream or on site. So information is there for that. And then these are just some things that we tend to forget about that we have. But we still do have a radio program. And it airs every week, and we've got a lot of really great content, and I'm mentioning it to you because it's in a podcasted format, and it's something that you can share with others in your, in your circles. We've got a lot of archived broadcasts that we've done. We've not had the opportunity to do as much new content recently, just because of the other obligations that we have going on. But nonetheless, there's still tons of content that's already there that you can share and go back and listen to, and we still have a really good relationship with our local radio station who's doing that for us. So anyway, so that's going on. And then finally, just, you know, part of our responsibility in doing exploits for the Lord is being aware of what's going on, and sometimes we can be consumed by all the information that's out there and be fretting and all that, and we don't want to do that. But on the other hand, sometimes it's hard to really get good content, good news from a biblical perspective. So I just have a couple websites down there that I like to use to get news and commentary from a Christian perspective, and I don't necessarily, we're not endorsing anything that comes from those particular websites, but generally I've found those places to be reliable for at least getting information out and then thinking about it from a biblical perspective. So stay informed, pray informed is the idea. So anyway, that's kind of in a nutshell what's going on. There's a couple events that we're not having this year that just because of different circumstances. We don't have a legislative day this year. I don't believe the Capitol's even open at this point down in Annapolis. So that's not happening, and obviously with Gary's circumstances, it's not going to happen. And then we're not doing the ski day again this year either. So just generally speaking, as far as the ski day is concerned, we've had not a whole lot of interest the last couple years, and so we've not pursued that right now. But I would say this: if you are really bummed that there's no ski day, let me know, and so that we can get it maybe back on the roster for future years. And I don't know, we might need to investigate. It's interesting, my family and I were just out at Deep Creek this last week, and there's WISP. Anybody ever skied at WISP? So WISP is out there, so it'd be interesting to compare prices. That's a little longer drive, but you know, we have some folks in the school who live in Canada, and they told me in Quebec, and they're listening right now, so they know who they are. But we've joked in the past that, you know, they can ski in their resort. It would probably be cheaper for us to come up as a school to Quebec and ski. It was cheaper than what we can ski at Ski Liberty right now. So anyway, so if you're interested in seeing that brought back, you know, certainly let me know. But we didn't do it last year, and we just decided, nah, we're not gonna do it this year. But anyway, and also right now, last year we had a lot of field trips, and obviously those have been put on hold for various reasons. But it's not that we can't do any field trips. So if you have an idea of something you want to do and where you know we can go or what we can do, that is totally great if you want to take the initiative in organizing that. So anyway, just putting that out there too. All right, well, with that, I'm going to go ahead and give you your marching orders where you're headed next. We're going to go ahead and we're going to break. So moms are encouraged to be up here. We're going to have a video from Becky. And then dads and students, go ahead and go downstairs. We're going to show a video from Wall Builders, from David Barton, talking about the influence of the Bible in our founding. And so that's the plan. And both of those, we basically have allowed for an hour from now until lunch. So neither one of those videos will take the whole hour. However, what I would encourage you all to do, I'm going to be downstairs with the David Barton thing, and we can have some time for a little bit of discussion, and would encourage the same for up here after Becky's message is done. Obviously, if she was here in person, you would be able to do that. But go ahead and do that, and then we'll break around lunch for subs, those who ordered subs. And if you didn't order subs, you can still bring your own lunch in. And we'll have our lunch, and then after that, we'll have our sessions, again, our breakout sessions, Susie will be up here, again, speaking with moms, and then at the same time, student council will be over in the office with me, and then the senior meeting will be after that. So we'll go ahead and move to your respective spots. Thank you.